Howdy doody, my name is Cameron, better known as Venus Theory, and I'm back. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at the new Bit Zone soundware from UVI. We'll be taking a look at what it is, talk about how it works, and of course, take it out for a spin with some patch demos. So, Bit Zone here is based on a sort of obscure 80s Italian synthesizer that packs a distinctive, lush, yet upfront analog sound. Although Bit Zone can be very true to the original instrument sounds, the library ranges from the classic 80s synth action to more contemporary approaches with sound and the sound design. It also includes the entire sample library processed with a classic symphonic chorus unit for that iconic 80s chorusy goodness that we all know and love, perhaps a bit all too well. So let's dive in and take a look at the controls and build up a sound from scratch. First, we can navigate to the Bit Zone Basics preset folder here in the library to pick out a clean starting point to work from. Bit Zone includes a couple dozen of these blank patches that you can use as sort of a starting canvas for your sound design work. This is also a really good way to get a sense of just the raw sound of the synth. Sweet. Let's go through a couple other presets here to find something we want to start from. Here we've got init with the SPX chorus engaged. That sounds pretty wide. Let's try unison. Cool, and let's see, what do we got? A bass here. Cool, I think that's actually pretty neat, and we'll use that as our starting point today as we go through the controls. Here on the main page, we have the two layers. We can enable or bypass these by clicking the toggle at the top, and we can select from any number of waveforms and samples to start off with for that layer. If you want to engage the chorus version of the sound, all you need to do is click the Symphonic SPX button, and lush, super wide chorusy goodness awaits. Let's flick through here and find a different bass sound. I like that, and maybe bring in the second layer. Cool, I think that's a nice kind of mean, growly combination. Here in the center, we have the layer controls, and because Bit Zone is based around two layers, pretty much everything in Bit Zone can be layer independent or combined. So we can select layer 1, layer 2, or layers 1 and 2, and then control their amplitude and filter settings over to the right. In the amplitude and filter section, there are some additional controls. In the amplitude section, we can enable velocity response, and keep in mind this is layer independent, and we can also tie the velocity to the attack, again being layer independent, to make for some unique combinations and sound design possibilities that go beyond what the original unit could offer. In the filter section, we have a multi-mode filter. We can bypass it or choose between low pass, band pass, and high pass modes with all the standard filter stuff here with frequency, resonance, the envelope depth, and the envelope velocity response with the envelope controls down below that. In the edit section, we have controls for the voicing. We can set this to be poly or mono. If we have poly selected, we also get access to a pitch envelope. We have the stereo spread control, so in this case, maybe we'll take layer 2 and add a bit of stereo spread. Let's switch that to alternate mode. So right now it's pinging hard left and hard right. We could drop the spread down to something maybe about 20 or 30. Just to make that a bit more subtle. Then we have controls for the pitch. This can be layer offset for the semitone and octave. We have the mod wheel, and we can tie the mod wheel to the vibrato, tremolo, or filter by enabling the toggle next to the target destination. So far, so good. Let's move on to the mod tab, and this is where things start to get interesting within Bit Zone. The mod tab has two main controls, the step modulator and the LFO. The step modulator can have up to 16 steps. We can adjust the speed, we can adjust the delay. Let's maybe set the speed to something like, I don't know, 16th notes to start this off. We have a rise control and a smoothing control, and then we have two different target destinations, level and filter, and we can target this per layer. So in this case, let's maybe mess with the level of layer 2 and the filter of layer 2, but invert it. Just add a little bit of motion to the sound. The LFO has 4 different shapes. We have sine, square, triangle, and sample and hold. We have synced and unsynced modes and a few trigger modes, retrigger, no retrigger, and legato response. And the LFO can be tied to 3 different destinations, the level, pitch, and filter. And again, this is all layer independent. Moving over to the effects tab, we have all of the global effects for your Bit Zone patches. This is all routed in series, and we can see the flow here as indicated by the arrows. We have a 3-band EQ, so for this sound, maybe we'll back off the bass and make it more of a mid-rangey sort of thing. Let's add a little bit of drive. We have the chorus. We have ensemble with 3 different modes. I like mode 1 for this, and we have the phasor. Let's add some dotted 8th note delay, because dotted 8th note delay just makes everything cooler. And maybe just a little pinch of reverb on top. Cool, sounds good to me. Let's move on to the arpeggiator tab. Bit Zone has 2 separate arpeggiators targeting layers 1 and 2 respectively. However, if you want to control both layers with a single arpeggiator, you can just click the link button down in the bottom. Each arpeggiator has dozens of presets to get you started, and we have all the standard controls like the mode, octave, the number of steps, the playback speed, and the global gate length, as well as more fine-grained controls for the velocity of each step, the note tying selection, the step mode, so we can have a single note or a chord. We have the step semitone offset, per step panning, per step gate length, and even a per step CC1, better known as the mod wheel response. If you do want to use this, it does make for some really interesting sequences. Just remember to enable the CC button here below the power toggle for that arpeggiator. So for this sound, why not get crazy, and we'll use both arpeggiators here. Let's start off with layer 1 and find something. Cool, I'm digging that, and let's bring in the arpeggiator on layer 2 and find something else. I liked that crispy one, so let's give that a shot. With a couple quick tweaks here, I think we could finalize this sound. Let's change a few of these step modes to be chord, and maybe we'll add a couple ties just to spice things up a little bit. Let's add a few CC1 steps and make sure that's enabled down in the bottom. We could add just a hint of panning here or there, and let's maybe go back to the edit tab and change layer 2 to be poly mode so we can have those chords on certain steps of the arp. And it's that easy to start making patches with Bit Zone. Of course, as with any UVI library, Bit Zone here packs in hundreds of professionally designed presets, so let's take some of these for a test drive and hear some of the sounds of Bit Zone. So that is a look around the new Bit Zone soundware from UVI. Bit Zone, of course, is available now. It works inside of the free UVI workstation or inside of Falcon, and it's available either as a standalone product or as part of Vintage Volt 4. If you want to check out Bit Zone for yourself, you can find more information with the link down in the description. Thanks for watching and hanging out with me here for a bit. I hope you enjoyed it. And of course, as always, I hope this inspires you to get out there and make something awesome.